All right, y'all. Unavoidable canon events.
First up, fumbling a 10 out of 10. You know, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the worst
Let's
ones in my
rallies.
opinion. Reason why we've all been through this. There's always been that one girl that you thought you had in the bag. I mean, she was fine, beautiful, gorgeous. I mean, in your mind, she goes band for band with SZA, Lotto, and Ruby Rose. Like, you feel me? If for some reason you think you actually have a chance with that girl, and you try to get her, and you're doing good, and then randomly one day she just goes. And for the rest of that week, you're just contemplating, scrolling through your text, looking at what you could possibly have done wrong. Thinking maybe she forgot about the text, maybe you said a weird joke, or just something random. Just whatever your brain can imagine for her to actually ghost you, because of course it's not just you. Well, nigga, hate to break it to you, she likes a guy and it's not you. Game is game. And the worst part about it is that oftentimes the next week she ends up hard launching with her new man, and when you see him, it's somebody you don't even think is better than you. Well, brother, hate to break it to you, but he is. And then when they eventually break up, you're gonna be right back on her feet begging for her to take you back. But before that, you will go through the I hate that bitch phase. After every man goes through a heartbreak, they always
he not lying.
the girl for a little bit. It's inevitable, bro. Every single bad thing that you've noticed and
Yo, he
garnered
not lying. He
about
not
her
lying.
in the past couple of years, it just kind of comes flowing back into your brain. And one
Like, bro, I never forget this. Cause y'all know y'all know a lot about me. Like, y'all may be new to the channel. I've only been in one serious relationship, and boy, that shit, like, together like 3 years, like 3-4 years. Nigga, I thought I would have killed myself. I wanted, ooh. That's a story for another day, though.
every moment until it eventually boils over and you realize you don't really hate her. You're just sad that she's gone. But you still go through the phase, though. Then you get sad and you're a little bit depressed and you're wondering why it didn't work out. Maybe you'll never find love again. Maybe something else won't happen. I don't know. You just stress. But usually you end up doing all of this stressing late at night, which leads you to the third male canon event: 3 a.m. motivational workout. I can speak for all of us.
Valid,
We've all been through.
valid.
Whether it was a breakup or a heartbreak, or maybe you just realized you're a bum. You went through that phase where you thought at 3 a.m. in the morning you was gonna change the world. You started doing push-ups, you started watching David Goggins videos, and you're up all night feeling motivated and thinking that you're finna rule the world. You're finna be the most swole, chiseled, drizzled, gizzled, diggled, fadiddled, top tier man that you can be. And then you wake up after you pass out on the floor from doing all of them push-ups. Look at your surroundings, realize your room is still dirty, and then eventually come to the real.
The one thing I'll say about this, the only way that this will actually help you is if you actually write it all down. Like, y'all see right behind me, like, this journal right here got everything. Like, you gotta actually physically write it down and actually get up and go and start doing the actual thing. Like, I know it's gonna be crazy. What you mean, y'all? Bro, you can't talk, bro. You just starting. See that word right there? Starting. Something most of y'all ain't got the guts to do. You won't know unless you start. It's not even just about workout. This is about anything.
That can send you into this motivational arc. Canon event number 4: going bald. I promise you, every single person
Thankfully
watching
enough,
this
I never
video
been
has gone
bald.
through this phase, and most of the time it's because of
Everybody, you know how it goes. Especially all my African niggas, all my Caribbean niggas, low buzz. But bald, I ain't never been bald. But like a 1.5.
your dad. Brother, I am gonna tell you right now, for the first 5 years of my life, I had to be completely butt naked Michael Jordan bald. Because when my dad was 28, he stopped growing hair, and ever since that day, he decided that he didn't want me to grow hair either. And it was the most aggravating thing of my life. And I'm sure every single one of y'all went through that same thing. And the worst part about it is that after he allowed me to have hair, he only allowed my hair to get to a certain length, which is known as the bald phase, which most of us have gone through, especially black children. And the worst part about this is that back then, when I was growing up, the mohawk was very popular. It was during the LaMelo, Odell mohawk phase, and everybody and their mother wanted a mohawk. And I wanted that so bad, but no, I couldn't get it because my dad said, and I quote, "If you get a mohawk, you have to walk around naked everywhere because the mohawk tribe did." Yeah, I don't know why that nigga said that. That was some fucked up shit. But basically, he was just trying to get me to be bald like him. So, hey, yeah, I guess it kind of worked. For a little bit. Now we got these.
Oh my
Because
god, I
something
got my
else
neck.
that dads often made us do was help them around the house. And one thing that I know for sure that we all went through was our dads getting mad at us when we didn't hand them their tools fast enough. My brother in Christ, I have
Valid,
almost been
valid,
shot,
valid.
almost lost my life. Heck, I thought I had AIDS at one point. But I have never been more scared in my life than when I used to help my dad do work around the crib. Because for some reason, dads just have a big fascination with doing mechanical work around the house. And while they're actively doing this act of stupidity, most likely messing up the whole house, they decide to exert their frustrations on their kid that they told them to help. And my brother in Christ, I know every single person watching this video can relate. If you didn't hand your dad that tool as soon as he asked you to, or if you moved a tiny
That nigga
little
used to
bit
get
when
so
he
mad
asked
at
you to
me.
shine the flashlight somewhere,
Shout
the
out
amount
Pops
of
though. Shout out
anger and
Pops.
rage that man will exert onto your body would be scarier than meeting a polar bear in the Arctic who hasn't eaten for weeks. And honestly, I've experienced a lot of trauma from doing stuff like this. Like the amount of trauma I've gone through.
What's your
from
canon events?
misquoting tools
I'll
is
listen
probably
to that. I'll
equivalent
listen
to
to
the
that.
slaves back in olden times. But after this, as a kid, you know, you can get pretty traumatized, scared, but also angry from what your father did. So angry that you even think about potentially fighting him. It would also be the worst mistake you ever made in your life because he will beat your ass.
Valid.
Every single man in his life has thought about fighting his dad. I say fighting for a reason because you will never beat him. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is
Yeah.
about fathers,
Valid.
but like they will never lose to their son. Period. Especially if it's fist. Like you could be 6'5", 280. Matter of fact, you made John Jones call you his pappy. But as soon as you run into your 5'9" father, he will beat the living breaks out of you. And even though we all wanted to fight our father, we
I never really got into it with my pops like that, but like I never. Definitely now I'm beating that nigga ass, but nah, definitely back in like high school, man, this nigga, man, my pop's 5'10", like 220, like built. Like it's not like no fat 220, but it's like that, like deadlift like 300, like bench pressing like 400, like swole, like
none of us have actually did it because we
like
knew
you
the
make
reality of that.
you make out that beer, you make out that beer belly, but don't let that shit fool you.
Actually almost did it one time, and there's a reason why I said almost, because I realized very soon that I would get my ass absolutely blasted. And I love my life way too much to ever do that to myself.
Why
Once
ain't
you
you fighting?
realize that you can't
Nigga, when me and him really got into it, bro, I was like senior in high school. Like, yeah, we the same height. I'm 5'10" also, but like high school I was like 145, like
possibly
150.
beat your father, you go from fight
What am I gonna do?
flight. Which leads me to thing number 6, running away. Every man has thought about running away from home.
Thought about it, then remembered I'm broke.
Brother, I cannot explain to you how many times I thought about running away as a kid. The crazy part about it is I live in a 2-parent household, suburban home, live in Nashville, Tennessee, a predominantly white city. I live in the suburbs of the suburbs. You will see white people walking their dogs and kids playing in the street. I live a good life. I had a good childhood. I even went to private school. But for some reason, whenever my mom pissed me off or my dad did something I didn't want to like, I always thought about getting a big ass stick, a little red piece of cloth, tying it together, and putting all of the important stuff in my life like the PS4 in the sack, and walking right out. I feel like this is a canon event, not just for guys. I feel like it's everybody. We as men
Yeah,
are
it is
the
valid.
ones who are actually the closest to doing it. Because I'm not gonna lie, one time I literally started packing my bags because my mom pissed me off so much. And I was almost done doing it. I was so close to committing. And then I realized how badly my mom would beat my ass if I actually ran away. So I just stayed. That's what usually happens because it's never worth the beating because they will find you. But usually that type of stuff will happen when you get grounded. And something else you would do when you're grounded is thing number 7, reading a diary of Wimpy Kid book.
Oh, hold up. See, I ain't never been grounded. I would just get beat. It's just Caribbean thing.
I don't know why we all did
But, like,
this, but we all
they
read
never been
that
go to your
in our
room.
floor whenever our
They just
parents
beat me on
took
the
away our
spot.
phones or PS4s or whatever. Like it
Not even
was
for
just
kids, like,
handed
yeah,
in
that's
to the
valid.
fullest. And if you wasn't a guy, if you was a girl, you would probably read the dork diaries. I feel like guys also read the Big Nate books, stuff like that.
Yes,
It's just that same type of
that's real
category
game. That's
genre.
real
And I
ball.
would
He
always
balling
get
on.
those books at the
He balling
Scholastic
on.
Book Fair too, bro. Cause like
Yep, the book
whenever
fair.
that boy Jeff Kinney cooked up a book, I ain't gonna lie, niggas was on they seats, on they toilet, locked into them joints. I'm not gonna lie. But something that's also tough though is number 8. Realizing you'll never go pro in the sport you love.
Bro,
You know, as a
don't get me
man,
started
I
on
feel
this.
like this is actually the most heartbreaking thing you can go through. Because yeah, fumbling a 10 out of 10 is bad, but there will always be more fish in the sea. With your sport though, you only really get
Man, the thing about this. Sophomore year of high school. The way that I was playing soccer Who'd have thought? Damn, this nigga could probably even play in college. COVID happened. Stop playing. That laziness, that online school, that playing the game nonstop, that watching YouTube, eating food, eating snacks. Bro, like, whew, so lazy during that time. I'll never forget this. Senior year comes around. I don't even think I was in shape that whole season. But obviously, you know, when you're younger, you start watching them videos. I used to watch. Let me see if I can find these videos. Hold up. Like, ooh, the AirPods. Whose videos I used to watch? Like, I used to watch his videos. Yes. This dude right here.
Whether you play in your backyard or you
This
are
dude
the
right
best
here.
academy in your city, we have got the steps you can take right now to make your
Even those videos 2 years ago, like I used to watch this dude's videos, like train at home. Like, hold up, let me. Like, I was really watching, like, hold up, popular. Like, how to shoot a knuckleball, I was watching all these videos in middle school, early high school, like, really trying to make it, really grinding. But then that shit just petered out because of COVID.
And once you finally had that moment of realization,
I lost one of my
that you'll
AirPods,
never
bro.
go pro in your
There we
sport,
go.
whether it's basketball, football. It's truly one of the most
Especially for the sport,
heartbreaking
like,
things you can ever go through. I remember I
but
was
soccer is
a
so tough in
basketball player
America.
back in middle school.
Yo, one last thing. Fuck America's soccer programs. The amount of money y'all stealing from these kids and these parents is fucked up. Like, y'all gotta find a better way to make money, but also prioritize developing talent. That's why the U.S. men's soccer team is so ass, and the women's team is much better.
When I got to high school, I thought it was going to be the same thing. And then one random day, Darius Garland pulled up to my local gym, and I realized very quickly that NBA was never going to be a reality. But I was delusional, so I thought, you know what, maybe if I really ball out my freshman year, I can get some looks. You know, I could really go crazy in a good route leading up to my senior year. Well, I
Me
was
too.
a JV bench player. And I was good, too. I was averaging like 20 points a game, but the coaches just...
See, for me, started JV, but I got moved up to varsity. Like, you would have thought I was having them looks.
You know what, maybe the coaches are just, you feel me, purely
But, you know,
me, which they were.
don't even get me started on my senior season. That's something I'll never tell y'all. Y'all got to snoop and find out for yourself. I'm never telling stories from that year.
I was never finna grow past the height of 5'9". Yeah, I haven't grown since freshman year. So yeah, I'm basically trying to say I'm fried. But every man has to go through that phase to realize they're just a regular guy. Just because every motivational speaker tells you that you can do whatever you want in this life doesn't mean you actually can do it. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
Because I'm sorry, buddy, if you're 5'4" and you're trying to be an NBA basketball player in this economy, in this league, I'm gonna be honest, brother, we have Wimby's playing point guard, bro. You're not Muggsy Bogues, bro. But another tough realization that we've all been through. Realizing that you're in the friend zone. And I don't care who you think you is.
Valid.
In this game.
Valid.
As a guy, we've all thought once, if we were a good enough friend to a girl, that she would eventually crack and decide to settle down with us. But another canon event that we've all been through is realizing that that's not how life works. As a matter of fact, she actually knows that you like her, yet she doesn't care, and she'll still use you for free car rides, free money, free food, and free attention. This is one of the toughest realities we have to learn as a man, but every man has to go through it. I remember I was 13 and there was this girl I liked, and she broke her foot. So I offered literally carry her around the school.
Nah.
Just good friends. She actually ended up getting pregnant by another guy at 13, but that's a different story. But another pain that we all had to go through is going to the bathroom in a public setting and not knowing the urinal rule. And every single guy watching this video knows exactly what I'm talking about. I remember as a kid, I was at my school, and it was like a student-teacher day or whatever, I don't know. And for some reason, the parents were on campus. And I walked into the bathroom, and there was a grown-ass man using the left urinal. And the middle and right one were open. And according to the urinal rule, if there's 3 urinals, you have to use the left, you have to use the right, and there's the center one, so only one available, you wait your turn. Unless they have blockers or binders where you don't gotta see another man's pee. But as a kid, I didn't know that, so I ended up using the middle one right beside him. And I remember remember to this day. The look that this man gave me was a look of absolute disgust. I'm not gonna lie. And as soon as he got done pissing, turned to me, patted me on the back, and said, "Son, heads up, whenever you use the bathroom, you never piss right beside another man." I've never seen that man ever again, but I thank that man for truly changing my life. But this is one of those rules that once you learn it, never forget it, or else niggas will clown you. Something else that we've all been through in the bathroom, though, is being around that one kid who decides to just pull down his pants just to take a little piss in the urinal. Back in elementary school, you know, brother, this was.
The crazy thing is, niggas were shitting in the urinal in my high school and middle school. But that's a story for another day.
It was horrible. Usually it will be the special ed kids, but at the same time, it's like, brother, please have them comment.
Not even the special ed kids. It was real deal competent kids.
Since that's such a great statement. Usually they would be farting too, and they would just stink. But at the same time, we've all done it when we was younger, and then we had a grown man walk into the bathroom and instruct us to never do that again, and then we changed our ways. Something that we haven't changed as guys is number 11 or 12, I don't know at this point. Putting your hands in your pants for warmth on an ice cold freezing day. This one I know we've all done. I'm actually doing it right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Especially real ball knowledge. If you're wearing the shorts underneath your pants when you go to school early in the morning, you leave ball knowledge. Put your hands in the pockets. We put your hands still in your boxers. That's 3 layers. Like 3 layers.
We've all done it. Let's just keep it real. It's amazing. It's one of the most sensational feelings ever. You get to put your hand next to life. It's amazing. I don't know. It's just vibey. Here's the thing with this stuff. You got to be very careful where you do this act, because doing it while nobody's around is cool. But if you're in a crowded room space and you just got your hands in your pants, like, brother, who raised you? That's where the creep allegations come in, and you don't want that. They don't understand, but at the same time, let be classy. Let's speaking of balls. The next canon event that we've all been through is chilling around the house playing GTA or Fortnite or something, and then all of a sudden, randomly, you just feel a sharp pain in your balls, and you just start clenching them. You start grabbing them. You start praying to God because you think that you'll never have kids again. You start wondering if you have cancer, or maybe you got an STD, or maybe if you gooned too much. I don't know what you did. And then after it goes away, you immediately get on your knees and pray to God, promising him you would never jerk off again if he heals your pain. And then 3 nights later, you end up jerking off again. But hey, game is game. But after you goon, you get a negative feeling. You feel shame. You promise to God you will never do it again, yet you fail. You feel defeated. See, this right here is what we call post-nut clarity, which is the next canon event, and probably the most popular one. Because the only time that you won't feel this is after the first one you do. Back when you were most likely younger, which is sick, honestly. It's sad that so many little kids are gooning, but it's whatever, I guess. And after that first goon, you felt alive. You felt like you just discovered the greatest thing on earth. Then after that second one, you really quickly realized that you just formed and started an addiction that you will be very lucky to get out of. There's downhill, and you just keep on getting more downhill until you eventually stop and become a better human being, which a lot of y'all haven't done. Let's just keep it real. At the same time, though, you will never escape post-nut clarity, even though I had one homie who did it like 10 times a day, and apparently he just stopped having it, but he also looked very depressed, so I think he just had it permanently. You already know what I'm finna say, though. Game is game, jizzle is jizzle, and don't fiddle your pickle. Let's get to it. But it's a part of being a man, and game is game, and that's just how life is. When you retain that, though, you will get superpowers. Powers that would never be feasible to that average gooning man. And you do that as soon as you get into the next canon event, aka semen retention. Every single man has gone through this. I don't care what y'all say. We've all gone through semen retention. We thought that by holding our seed, we would turn into spiritual cell or something. In all reality, you kind of do. I'm not gonna lie. You kind of get superpowers. You feel like you can move mountains, start thinking more clearly, you start getting more ideas. There's really no negative to holding your seed. And then we eventually all fail. But at the same time, we keep on going. But the first time you go on this path, you think you're a superior human being, though. You think you're better than everybody because you can hold your seed, and you call all of the regular 1 to 2 time a week gooners peasants in your eyes. You think they're just weak, inferior beings, and that's just how you will think until you eventually become one of them again. Game is game. But the last canon event I want to talk about is video games falling off as you get older. Bro. That's more of a maturity thing. As you get older, I don't know if it's just me, but like video games just aren't as fun anymore. Like the only game.
The thing I'll say about this is not only are games not fun anymore, it's more of, as time has went on, the creativity has fallen off a cliff, and as well as, you also say this about movies too, and just all these big companies. The reliance on nostalgia. You look at Call of Duty, you look at FIFA. Call of Duty will never be the same. FIFA will never be as good. 2K will never be as good as like 2K16 and 17. And you can also say that about a lot of these shows. That's why they keep rebooting stuff. I just peeped they're doing like a live action Moana that came out like what? Moana came out like 4 years ago, and they just had a sequel. They're gonna do a live action. Like you're just repurposing the same story, but like it's just like this is for a lot of media as a whole.
It's really just to cool down.
Classic.
Beat my friends. I'm not gonna lie. I can't get immersed in a game nowadays like I did back when I was younger. Maybe it's because I have responsibilities, or maybe it's just because games fell off. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of sad. Hopefully GTA 6 can bring that back out of me. But
Please, it
we'll
will.
see. But I feel like every man kind of goes through this, and if you didn't, shouts out to you. But hey, go ahead and tell me anything I missed. If you like this video, go tap into my streams. They're very entertaining. So I'll be doing yaps, vlogs,
Banger. Banger from Cloud. So from me and like S2 Reacts. Alright, my can event. You know what? Thank you. We're gonna turn it into a video. Sorry, YouTube, I gotta do it to y'all. I'll catch part 2 soon.